When people don't know what you've been through, they don't understand your praise. When people don't know what you've been through, they don't understand your praise. When they don't know what you have sacrificed, those late nights when you wanted to quit, I'm talking to somebody, those times when you were crying saying, I can't make it, you have a reason to celebrate. And let me tell you, with everybody trying to stop your shine, you cannot be stopped. And I'm going to quote the famous lines that you've been.
All right. What up, everybody? Welcome, and welcome again. I wonder why Unstoppable in such a great mood tonight. I'm feeling awesome tonight. But just from before the show even start, I've just been feeling excited. Like, yo, can't wait for show time, But I hope everybody else that's here is feeling as excited as I am tonight. Because listen, there's nothing better than feeling good within yourself, Especially when feeling good is caused because it is caused not because of anybody else. It's just a natural good feeling inside. Boy, I tell you, that's how I'm feeling tonight. I hope it rub off panuni, because, my love with the Unstoppable family is feeling blessed, is feeling great, is feeling awesome, just like I am feeling right now. All right? No. Family, listen to me or listen to me good tonight, right? Friday night, Uno tick me off a little bit on YouTube, right? Uno could have seen my facial expression Friday night when Uno make me have to keep on say, yeah, man, give me some more likes, no? Right? Uno make me have to say, give me some more likes, no? And Uno see the anger that was in my facial expression Friday night. So much I want to call me and say, boy, Unstoppable, I could have see it on your face. Boy, I don't know why they turn up on YouTube. Why they can't just click the like button? So tonight, please, make me stay in this nice, happy mood that I'm in tonight. Nobody make me have to cuss and carry on for no likes. You understand? Just let me stay nice and cheerful and happy as I am right now. All right, so if you're there right now and don't know, click the like button yet, just click the like button right now and say, yeah, hear me? Me no want to get Unstoppable in I'm feelings tonight, because him look too cheerful for me get him in I'm feelings. So just click that like button and also make sure you want to share out the show as well. All right, YouTube crew, make sure you want to share it over there on Facebook and share it to a WhatsApp contact and invite a friend. Right, I want to say big up to the Williams family all the way in China, Beijing, China. Big up to the Williams family in Beijing, China, who reached out to me and said, Unstoppable TV, I love your program. Myself and my entire family is locked in. We binge watch all your programs. So, big up on yourself over there in Beijing, China. I know the time kind of different right now over there, but you find the time for watch my program. So I appreciate and everybody else who always share the show to other persons everywhere and invite them over to the platform. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. All right, Facebook crew, make sure you share it to some groups. All right, and invite some people over and let them know, listen, check out this show because this is Unstoppable's program and it's always interesting, informative, and you can learn something from it. See? Now, Facebook crew, remember, once you share, me can't see say you're sharing. So nobody say I share when you know you're not share. Cause I see like how me see Susan Griffiths share already. Big up yourself, Susan. Thanks for sharing out the show. Alright. Yeah, man. And Tamika signed up and got her badge. Big up yourself, Tamika. Charles as well. Big up yourself. And Adero signed up and got the badge. Alright. Which brings me to 70 total persons signed up over there on Facebook officially. Thank you so much to those 70 persons. If you're on Facebook and you have not signed up and gotten your badge as yet, please do so, cause you don't know, you have to get your badge. You see how Merville over there rock her badge? That's what I'm talking about. Alright, now listen, we have a topic tonight, viewers. Oh yeah, somebody said unstoppably you look cool. Listen, the weather right now is really chilly. You lucky me now have on all my gloves cause it's really chilly right now. I stepped outside the studio a while ago and I was like, run back inside, you know. But yeah, I'm a bit chilly. That's why I'm a sweater. All right, now we have a topic tonight. I'm tone down my hyperness. It's a sad one. You know, based upon the topic, the thumbnail and the title, you can know say it's a sad topic, right? It says, my uncle and father raped me. My other family members did it too. Now, just from the title and the thumbnail alone, you know say, this one tonight is going to be a touching one. All right? It's going to be a touching one. Now listen, family. A lot of people go through this. A lot of persons have been through this. A lot of people still going through this. But you have to remember that when a person comes on this platform to share their experience, it's never easy to share, you know. But when a person actually takes this platform to share their experience may heal someone else who is going through that very same or something similar to it. So that's why I applaud every single person that comes on this platform and is willing to talk about something that they experienced. Especially tonight's caller. She's here to share what she went through. But the good thing about tonight's caller is that she's going to be shining some light on how she was able to put this horrible ordeal behind her and decided to live her best life despite of what happened to her on numerous occasions. So I'm not going to do too much long talking. I'm going to get to the show. But you know, before I do that, I obviously have to pay the credit to the sponsors because they make this show possible. So the sponsor for tonight's show is none other than Chrissy's Jerk Sauce. All right, Auntie Chrissy, big up yourself if you're here right now. Much love. All right, if you have not tried Auntie Chrissy's Jerk Sauce, it's an authentically made Jamaican sauce right from scratch. All right, it tastes awesome. I've had it. Several other family members of the Unstoppable family has tried it, and everybody loves Auntie Chrissy's Jerk Sauce. So take it from me, if you have not tried Auntie Chrissy's Jerk Sauce yet, you need to call up Auntie Chrissy at 317-798-6131 and say, listen, I need either a hot and spicy sauce, or I need the mild one where we can get for taste what this tastes like, because Unstoppable not stop big it up. Alright, so reach out to Auntie Chrissy, 317-798-6131, WhatsApp, or you can call straight, or you can jump on the website www.chriskitchengadgets.com. Alright, and the next sponsor for tonight's show is none other than Slam IPTV. Now, Slam has been doing their thing now for quite a while, and listen, it works perfectly. Alright, as I tell you, all the while I've been using it, no other persons from the platform using it, and they love it. And anywhere you are, you can get Slam IPTV, no matter which country you are in, you can get Slam IPTV so that you can watch premium channels, HBO, Cinemax, Fox, Lifetime, all of the great movie channels. Slam IPTV can provide it for you. The number is 647-858-4337, or you can hit them up on Instagram and Facebook at slam_IPTV. Now, I'm gonna introduce the guest to tonight's program, family, but remember the rules of the platform. You are never ever allowed to be disrespectful to my guest. You are never allowed to call my guest a fool, a dunce, a jackass, a yamed, a idiot, nothing like that, or else you will be blocked. Once you understand that, we good. You are free to mix and mingle in the comment section. You are free to have a conversation in the comment section between each other and talk about the topic, but just don't be disrespectful. That's all I ask. All right. I want to say thank you to a few persons that's contributed to the program so far. Anne sent in a Zelle. Thank you so much. Angela sent in a Cash App contribution. Thank you, Angela. Nicole sent in a Cash App contribution as well. Thank you as well. And Chandra sent in a PayPal contribution. Thank you all so much for your contribution. With that said, let's get to the program right now and introduce the guest to the show. Carla, good night again. How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you.
I know I had you waiting for quite a while, and I apologize, okay?
No problem.
No, I heard a little bit of what you have to share tonight, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And you told me, boy, Unstoppable, I've been through so much, but I'm going to give you the platform right now where you will be able to, tell me a bit more and tell everyone else here that's listening to the program what you went through. All right. So I'm going to be quiet right now and just let you take over the show. Go right ahead. YouTube crew, click the like button. Give us some more likes. All right. Let's go, Carla.
Good evening, everyone. It's kind of bittersweet that I'm on here tonight, but I want to share my experience. Because I feel that sharing my experience may help someone else. And what I've gone through as a child and even up until I was 18 years old. So I was raised by my grandparents. And the reason for that was because when my mom was young, when she got pregnant with us. I have a twin brother. And so she couldn't take care of us because first thing is she was in college. And when my grandmother went to where she was living and saw the condition she was living in with us, my grandmother decided, no, that's not happening. I'm going to take them. So she took my brother and I from my mom. And that kind of helped my mom to continue with her education. And so I did not know she was my mom. I thought she was my sister because I have an uncle who is only 2 years older than I am. So we just grew up like brothers and sister because I was the only girl that was there at the time in the home at the time. Something is when my grandmother took us from my mom, she couldn't even take us into my grandfather's house because he was so angry at my mom. Because Jamaican parents, they say, well, I sent you to school, I didn't send you to go breed. Exactly what my grandmother said, he said, right? And so he was extremely angry with her. And my grandmother had to take us to other family members to raise us until one day she said she got frustrated and she went and she got us and she sharpened a machete and she put my brother and I down beside my grandfather and said, you don't want them, kill them, right? And she walked out of the house and left us there. She said when she came back hours later, she don't remember which one, but one of us was sitting on his knee and he was just rocking us. And then when he saw her coming in, he quickly put that one down, and that was where it started with my grandparents. Um, we were, I believe, at the time we were 6 months old, and so I lived with my grandmother basically from I was 6 months old. At age 6, okay, I have uncles who are not very much older than than I am, period. And at 6 years old, one of them started to molest me. And I didn't know what that was all about, but I was basically told, because of the fact that my mom was not there with us, I was told by him that if you tell anybody, remember you don't have no mother, and if you tell mama, she's gonna put you out because you don't have it, and remember you don't have anybody or anywhere to go. So of course, as a child, I don't want to live on the road, so I didn't tell anybody anything. I just kept I just kept basically, and kept this secret for years and years. And when I it happened basically every almost every night until I was 15 years old. And when I going to school, I took my education as my solace. I Every homework, everything, I was there. I was first in every class because I studied. When nobody else was studying, I was studying because I was going through hell and I needed something because I couldn't say anything to anyone. And my grandmother, she didn't suspect anything. Nobody suspected anything, right? So at age 15, I just couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't. And I ran away from home. I ran to one of my granduncles, my grandfather's brother's house. And when I got there, one of my older cousins started raping me, basically raped me. And because I ran away from home and I thought I didn't have anywhere else to go, I stayed and I stayed there until I was 16. And then I decided, no, I can't do this. This is just too much. I was still going to high school. Everything was just still going on for me. Like nobody knew anything. Like, I didn't tell my granduncle anything either. My cousins, which were his sisters, were living in the house. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just kept on going and doing, focusing on, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get something in my brain because I don't want to stay here. I want to become a teacher. That was what I wanted to become. I wanted to become a teacher. So I'm going to buckle down and I'm going to do everything that I have to do. So when that was going on, and I just couldn't take it anymore, I ran away again. This time I ran to Kingston, where my dad, who I was told was my dad, I went to live with him, and he registered me into college because he saw my potential and everything. So he registered me into college. And so I started going to college, but I guess he figured he had to get paid. And so he raped me. He was just like, okay, when nighttime come, it was like, and my brothers weren't in the house, like, that was what was happening. It was just bad. It was terrible. And that experience I'll never forget, but I will also not let it destroy me. It, it continued for about a year. And while I was going to school, one morning I decided that I'm not coming back here. So one of my friends, when I went to school one day, she said, what's going on with you? Why are you so quiet? Like, what's going on? And I said, um, I told that girl, my friend, what was going on. And she said, why don't you come live with me and my grandma? So I did. I went and lived with my grandmother, with her grandma, and I stayed there with my friend's grandma and her until I was 18. And when I was 18, I immigrated to Canada. My One of my aunt took me to Canada, and I just like, okay, fine, I'm out of all of this. So therefore, I'm so happy. I'm out of this. I can relax and I can, do stuff. But didn't happen that way. Mm-mm. As soon as I get here, her husband decided, oh yeah, you are going to. Like, it's like I thought, my God, I cried night, I cried day, I cried because I thought, do I have a sign on my back saying, hey, rape me or just take advantage of me? And it became so bad that when my auntie would leave for work at night, as soon as she left the house, he would enter into my bedroom. And so I ran. So every night, I would walk out of the house as soon as she walked out. But you know something, it was so terrible. I felt bad that I had to leave the house because my younger cousins who were girls were living in the house and they weren't his biological children. So I feared for them also, that if he's doing it to me, if he's trying to do it to me, then he would want to do it to them. And so I just couldn't deal with any of that stuff. I hated my mother. I hated my mother because I thought, if my mother was my mother and was there for me, I would not have gone through what I was going through, because then I wouldn't be living with my grandparents and I wouldn't have to be running from one house to another, to another, to another. There were times when I was younger when I couldn't talk to boys, because if I talked to boys, my the perpetrator would beat me and would say, you're not supposed to be talking to boys. If I walk home from school with boys, I would get a beating from him, not my grandmother, him. Like, he was jealous. He was jealous to the fact that I was talking. So I became a tomboy. So you find 10 boys and that one girl was me. That was me. I became a total tomboy, and I just, anything. When I went to school, I basically dressed like a boy, like everything. And when I came to Canada, that was when I decided to change. Hey, drop the tomboy issue and be a girl, because that's who you are. Well, people, I can tell you this. When at night, when I was leaving to go talk to a family friend, and the family friend happens to be a guy who was way older than I was. And I was so naive and stupid, um, that I was looking for comfort. And of course, and I can tell you this honestly, it happened once, one time, out of my crying and my this and my that, and I became more vulnerable. And of course, ended up sleeping with this guy. And I told my aunt what happened with her husband, not knowing I was pregnant for the other guy. And when I told her what was happening, because he was like, she was complaining about something. And he said, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because every night, as soon as you leave the house, she pick up herself and she gone through the door. And them times, well, I was brought up not to curse, not to swear, because I grew up in a Christian home. But that day I did cuss, and I said, The reason why I leave the house is because as soon as you leave the house, he wants to me, right? And she lost it. She said, "What?" And I said, "Yes, that's what he's been doing every night as soon as you leave the house, and he wants to whatever with me." And she says, "No, that's not happening." Then she pretended that everything was okay. But 3 months later, I found out I was pregnant. She was the one that asked me, "What was going on with you?" And I was 18 years old, but I was pregnant. And she decided one morning she woke us up and she says, "Hey, start packing." And she left. She just walked out of when he came home the night, when her hubby came home the night, the house was empty and we were gone. But when I got more pregnant, she said, "You can't stay here." And I said, "So where am I going to go? I don't know anybody here." And it happened that the gentleman I was pregnant for, one time he had given me his mom's phone number and said, "You can talk to my mom anytime you want to talk to my mom about what's going on with you." And so I called her, and she basically took me in, right? She took me in,
Let
and
me let me
when
ask
I
you a
had
question
my
before you continue. Sorry. So
mhm.
when you told your aunt what he was doing, because he was raping you, you wasn't giving him sex by consent. You, even though you was
Nope.
18,
Mhm.
you didn't consent to this. So this was rape. So when you told her what he was doing, she didn't say, "Hey, you know what? Let's call the police. Let me take you to the police station to make a report." Nothing like that happened.
No, 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 nothing like that happened because when she heard that, she decided, "I'm not staying not in this house with him or my two girls," because she had two girls. "I'm not staying with you or her or my two girls in this house anymore." Right? But the thing about it is that it was just awful.
Mm-hmm.
It was just awful. Like I said, my grandparents, when I was in the house, they didn't know anything that was going on. They had nothing, no, nothing that was going on. And like I said, my uncle was 6 years older than I was. So when I was 6, he was 12. And when I left home at 15, he was, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was just painful. However, when um when I had my son, I ended up having my son, and when I had my son, uh, I was basically I was with his grandmother, and after a while, it kind of became that when I found out after, well, actually, long after, when my son was 18, that the reason why he didn't stay around when I told him I was pregnant was because he was married, and none of the family knew he was married.
Mm.
So he didn't stay around. He did not stay around, right? Um, I grew up, I raised my child, and basically, and when he was young, I met someone, and this individual took him as his own child and raised him as his own child. My son didn't know he had another dad until he was 13 years old. And it was something that I went through. Um, I buried I buried it. I totally, from I was a kid, I buried everything so deep that um I wouldn't, if somebody had come to me probably and asked me if I was being molested, I would have probably say no, because I buried it so deep. I hid it so far based on what was said to me, right? And as I remember one day, I was home. By this time, though, when the whole thing came back up, and it was like I regurgitated it, everything came right back up. I was married, I had my son, and I had a daughter. But I got a phone call from Jamaica, and they said, "Do you have any information on molestation?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "That you could send me." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Such and such a person has been molesting his daughter." When I say his daughter, it wasn't his biological daughter, but to me, that was his daughter because he took his wife when she was 1. So that was his daughter. And when they said it to me that he has done that to her to a point where she got pregnant, and he denied it when he was whatever. And this is the same person who did it to me. And apparently, he was doing it to other kids in the neighborhood, not just me, but to other girls in the neighborhood.
Mm.
I remembered everything. I sat down. I cried. I cried. I cried. And I sent what I could, and I spoke to them. I spoke to them about her. Like, I still didn't tell my family anything. Still did not say anything as to the fact that he did it to me. But I remember going to Jamaica to a family reunion, and there were some things going on, and I was upset. And I took my mom, my aunties, and him, my uncles, and I sat them down, and I said to them, one of my aunt asked me, "Why did you run away from home?" Because when I ran away from home, my grandmother died. Why did you run away from home? Because you killed you killed my mother because she was fretting after you, and all of that was on me. All of that was on me ever since I was like when I ran away from home, and I kept running, right? But I said to them, this was why I ran away from home. And I told them everything that happened. Everything that happened from I was 6 with my uncle, my cousin, my dad, everybody. I told it to them. And my family sat there with their mouth wide open, not knowing. Some of them apologized to me because they hated my guts because I killed their mom. So as a child, I had to bear that burden that I killed my grandmother because they had no idea why I ran away from home.
Mm.
So it's just like I had to I had to grow up and grow up fast, right? When I sent the information to Jamaica and when I spoke to my family about what happened, that was when my healing begins. That was when it began.
All
My
right.
healing
Before
began
before
there.
you get to how the healing started and from then to where you're at right now, we're at the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna give you a water break while I pay the credits, and I'll come right back to you. Okay.
Sure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I want to welcome everyone that's here tonight. If tonight is your very first time to our show, welcome to Unstoppable Live. All right. If you're new here, very, very first time, jump in the comment section and let us know that you are new so that the regulars can give you a warm, unstoppable family welcome. All right. So don't hesitate to jump in the comment section and let us know that you are new. All right. And if you have not shared out the show as yet to invite someone else over to the platform, please do that right now. Take your phone, click the share button, and share it to another person and tell them to come on over and listen to this story. All right, this experience that tonight's guest is sharing. All right, I want to say thank you to the persons that have contributed to the program. Christine sent in a cash app shortly. Thank you so much for sending that cash app in, Christine. It's appreciated. Chandra sent in a PayPal. Thank you, Chandra. Angela sent in a cash app. Thank you, Angela. Nicole sent in a cash app as well. Thank you so much. And Anne sent in a Zelle contribution. Thank you so much. It's appreciated. The sponsors for tonight's show is none other than Auntie Chrissy's jerk sauce. All right, you can get the mild or the spicy sauce from Auntie Chrissy. All right, the number is 317-798-6131. You can reach out to Auntie Chrissy straight or you can WhatsApp the number. All right, check the website out, www.chriskitchengadget.com. The second sponsor for tonight's show is none other than Slam IPTV. All right, for channels all around the world, you can reach out to Slam at 647-858-4337. All right, or you can visit them on Instagram at slam_IPTV. All right. Also, I want to remind everyone here that if you have not signed up as yet to get your badge, please click the link that's being posted on YouTube, to become an official supporter of the platform. Click the link and sign up to get your badge. It's also pinned in the comment section. It's very easy to do. And on Facebook, you can also sign up and get your badge. Just look where it says become a subscriber and subscribe over there on Facebook. Or if you want to do it, make it even more easier, right next to where you click to comment, look to the right and you will see a turquoise color icon, right, with a heart in it. Click that and that is how you sign up to become an official supporter of the program. All right. So with that said, let's get back to the caller. No long talking. All right. I'm not big for no more likes on YouTube. I'm done with that. I can see you in the comment section, asking the people to click the like, but I'm not even going to do that anymore. Caller, let's get back to you.
Okay. Something I should have said when I spoke to my family in Jamaica about what happened, I remember going to my brother's house the night after I said what I said to them. And I remember crawling up to the top of his roof because where he lived, he had like a step and you could go to the top. And I had a blanket and I laid down up there and I was just crying. I was just bawling my brains out. And he came up and he said to me, he called my name and he said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not." And he said, "I know." And he was crying. He said, "I know every word you said tonight was true because I saw every night when it happened, I saw, but I couldn't say anything because I heard what he told you about us not having any mother. So it wasn't just me that was going through it. My twin was going through it also. And I told Unstoppable that I wasn't gonna cry. But as I thought about this, my brother was going through it with me. And I couldn't understand, even though we're twins, why we were so close. Even now, as adults, my brother and I are so close. But he kept that secret with me. And I love him so much. And when he told me that, because I thought I was the only one who knew. But he said, "No, remember, Pat, sorry, remember we slept on the same bed. So we were twins. So I saw everything that was going on and I heard everything and I cried when you cried." So I grew up and like I hated this individual. I hated this one, my uncle, more than I hated anybody else. Trust me, I hated all of them. But this one betrayed me because he was supposed to be taking care of me, not not molesting and raping me. And so I hated them. And I kind of like I pulled away. Even when I became an adult, it caused problems in my marriage because I just didn't trust. I didn't trust men. I loved my husband, but I didn't trust him, right? Because of the experiences I had. Yeah, I had kid, I had a daughter with him, and then I had another son with him, but I just didn't at the time. And how I started healing was when I gave my life to God and I went for counseling. I went for counseling. And I remember the counselor said, put a chair, put a chair, and he said, sit down and talk to the individual. The person is not there, but talk to them. Tell them exactly, tell it exactly how you felt. Tell them. And uh, time after time after time after time, I did the same thing. And then I started writing, and I wrote several times. I wrote to the perpetrators, and I said, this is how you made me feel. And as a kid, this is what you did to me. And I wrote, and I prayed. I had my pastor sat down with me, cried with me, prayed with me, talked with me, became my dad. That's what he became. My dad, up until this day, he's become like my dad. And um, I wrote, I remember writing something, and I writing a book, and I wrote the first chapter, and I took it to him, and I said, read this. And when he read it, he cried, and he said, can one person go through all of that and still in their right mind? But I knew it wasn't me. It was the persistence. I decided I was going to make something out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to. I had to. And it's like I went back to school again. Even um after, to be honest, because of what I went through, it broke my marriage. It did. It broke my marriage. And I ended up being a single parent with 3 children, and having to work, going to school, and all of that stuff with them. It's not easy. It wasn't easy then. And now when I see people going through it breaks my heart, because I went there, and I have used my experience to help other people. I've sat down with young people nights and cry with them and talk with them, and um, social workers, and everybody gets involved, police gets involved, everybody who has to get involved, but it still pained my heart, right? And so I was there for them. Like I said, I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of blaming. I blamed myself, because I said, I should have known better. You should have known better. Why didn't you say something to someone? And those are the things I went through, blaming myself, saying I should have said something, you know, I should have told my grandmother, I should have told my grandfather, I should have told somebody what was going on. And so I went through the blame, and I got through it with counseling, and I went through it with that God was on my side every step of the way, every step of the way. And that's why I still have to serve God no matter what, because I know that God brought me this far, right? Um, I, after, when my marriage broke up, like I said, it's because of all of what went on with me, the rapes, the molestation. I know that messed it up. And I went back to school. I I did something, the course that would help um, other kids
Did you
that
ever
I
tell your
was
husband the things that happened to you?
no,
So he never
no,
knew.
no. He never knew. He never knew anything. It was like I said, he didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to Jamaica when my daughter was, for her to celebrate her 16th birthday, and I said to her, "Hey, you see that house right there? Don't go down there." And when she was 18, I took her again, and I told her the same thing. When she was 21, I took her again, and I told her the same thing. And it was when she was older, that I was able to sit her down, and said to her, "Do you remember?" I said, told her what happened to me with the individual, because it was the individual's house, right? It was the individual's house that I told her not to go there. And when I said to her, this was what happened to your mom um, when I was growing up, I shared it with her and I told her everything. And she said, Mommy, is that why you told me that I shouldn't go to such and such a person's house? And I said, yeah, because I think I would have charged for murder. Because if he had touched my daughter, not only me, but I think everybody else would have, right? And when I told her that, she said, Mom, thanks so much. But, and she said, thank you so much for telling me what you went through. And I became what I became in order to help kids that has gone through and was going through what I went through, right? Um, I remember being who I was. I had so many choices of what I could do in my profession, and I said, nope, I want to work with these kids um, in person. I want when they're talking, they can see, they understand why I cry. Because when I cry with them, they will know why I cry, right? And help them in whatever way I could. To this day, I have kids who have grown up that calls me mom, right? And because of the fact that I have helped them in whatever way I could and get them out of the situation that they were in. So it's not easy. And I may not cry a lot, but I cried when I was growing up. I cried as an adult. I cried because what I experienced messed up my marriage, right? Because I couldn't relate, because I didn't trust. And as much as I loved him, I still couldn't shake how I felt until I finally was healed from it, right? That I could go back to Jamaica and I could see the individual and I could talk to the individual, and the individual would say, give me your money, and I could give the person the money, and I did a lot. The individual was sick and I was there to help while the person was sick. The person died and I was able to go back to the funeral because why? I forgave. I forgave.
before you forgave them, or even after you forgave them, did you ever
Mhm.
confront any of them about what they did to you?
I had given him a letter. My uncle, I gave him a letter with everything that he did and what I felt and everything. I gave him a letter and he denied it. He denied it to his grave. Yeah. He denied everything. He denied everybody that he molested up right to his grave. He denied them. He denied it. But because I forgive him and because I loved him as my brother and my uncle, and because of who I am as a Christian, I had to do what I did. I decided I was not going to let what happened to me destroy my entire life anymore. I was not going to let it happen. So I had to do what I had to do. I had to forgive him and I had to move forward with my life. And that was what I did. So there was no, at the end of the day when he died, I could honestly say I didn't hate him then. I didn't.
I'm seeing a few other persons in the comment section asking, before I even get to there, Crash Diet, good night to you and welcome to our platform. No, this platform is open to any nationality. It doesn't matter whether you are Jamaican or not. If you have an experience and you want to share it, you are welcomed. All right? We are open to every and anybody that wants and needs this platform to share their experience. I'm seeing persons in the comment section asking, after what he did to you, despite forgiving him, why did you even go back and say take care of him and give him money and help him throughout his hard times? Why?
Because he was family.
Right, but it's
He
family
was,
that took
yeah,
your innocence,
but
though.
I know, but you know what? Because of the God that I serve. And my Bible tells me that if I don't forgive, then God will not forgive me. So I had to forgive him. Regardless of what he did, I had to forgive him. Because trust me, I may not have done what he did to me, but I messed up many times and God forgave me. Right? So I had to do what I had to do. It's funny, I was talking to his son, because we're really good friends. I was talking to him and he said to me, I know what my dad did. I heard what my dad did. And thank you for helping when he needed help. Yeah. As hard as it was, I had to do it.
Not many persons would have the kind of heart that you have, Carla, because some persons would view that, despite they would say, I forgave him, but some persons would not do what you did. So
No. I I everybody said to me, you're different. You're totally different, and I know family members told me personally that you're stupid. But I go, nope, that's not how it is. That's me because of the love of God that is inside of me. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. The love of God that is inside of me. And I overcame, and I don't intend to let it, like I said, for years and years and years and years, because I have decided this was not going to destroy me anymore. It destroyed me for a long time, and it wasn't going to. So I took the reign, and I took my life back, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do for myself. I have children. I will not let this go down, my mess up, affect my kids. It's not going to. It did at one point because their dad was gone. But the fact is, I said, that ain't gonna happen anymore. Right? That was not gonna happen anymore. So I took it and I said, hey, I'm done. I teach my kids the same thing. No matter what people do to you, forgive them. Because if you can't forgive them, I can't ask for forgiveness if I can't forgive. I can't ask for compassion if I can't have compassion. So what he was doing, he thought he was doing bad to me, and which was terrible, right? He thought what he was doing was nothing, but it was terrible, right? And I don't think up until the day he died he understood the ramifications of what he did, not just to me, but to the other girls that he did it to. I don't think he did.
let
I
me
don't
ask you,
think. I don't think so.
what is your father still alive?
No, my dad died.
Did you ever confront him about what he did or no?
Yet him, I did. Him, I did. I called him and I told him how I felt. I called him because he was in Jamaica, and I called him from here. And when I was doing all my counseling and everything, I called him. The other one I never did. Up until this day, I didn't. And one year when I went to my uncle's funeral, the one of the ones, the cousin who molested me, was in trouble with the police for the same thing. And I was speaking to my auntie, one of my auntie, and when I asked what's going on, because he was at their house and he couldn't go anywhere around where we lived as kids. And I asked why, and they said because this was what he did. And I go, and she looked me in the eye and she said, huh. She called my name and she says, he did the same thing to you, didn't he?
Hmm.
And I go, yeah, he did. So I don't feel sorry for him. That was what I said. I don't feel sorry for him. He will get whatever he deserves. And her and I just started talking about it. And for that one, I cried. I cried at that time for that one. But then it was done. It was gone. It was. I see the idiot places, and I just kind of like, hey, how you doing? That's it. Go to Jamaica, and that was it for me. I don't hold grudges. I don't.
What was your
I will tell
father's
you,
response when you asked him about it? What did he have to say?
didn't say a thing. He was quiet. Not a word.
And this was your biological father, correct?
Yep. Because I found out at first my mom wasn't sure based on the situation of what happened, and she wasn't sure if he was. But then I found out later. We found out later that yes, he was my biological dad. Yep.
And you said you mentioned that you blamed your mother for everything that happened to you.
Yep. Yep.
Um
I did. As a teenager, as a young adult, I blamed my mom. And my mom, when I went to where my mom lives, because she doesn't live in Jamaica, and I went to visit my mom and I spoke to my mom. I told her, I actually, before that, I wrote her a letter and I lay everything out in the letter. And to a point where my aunties called me and said, why would you do that? Why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. You're hurting her and blah, blah, blah. And then I went to where she was. Um, in, I think it was 1990. I went and we sat down and we talked. And she gave me some answers. And, and I forgave my mom. And now my mom and I are really close. I love my mom, and not I don't think it's as close as I was with my grandmother, because my grandmother was my mother.
mhm.
My grandmother is always my mom. She's always, always, always my mother. And my mom now, um, the way I introduce my mother is, this is my mom, who is also my big sister.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I never grew up with her. I never lived one day with my mom. And she introduced my brother and I as these are my firstborns, who happens to be my brothers and sisters also. My brother and sister also. And we just laughed about it because that's how the family looks at it, because she's right. She may gave birth to us, but she's never ever did any of that, like being a mother to us. Never. So,
I'm gonna
mm,
I want to open the phone lines, but before I do that, I want to ask you. As a
mm-hmm.
matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm going to switch lines so that I can use this one to open the phone lines. All right. So I'm going to ring you on the other line. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So, viewers, the phone line is now open. 876-420-3368. You can call in if you wish to say something about tonight's topic. All right. 876-420-3368 is the number to call. Let me get the guest back on the other line so that we can continue the conversation. All right.
Hello.
All right. Great. You can hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, wonderful. Now, what I wanted to ask you is, as a person that went through this
Mm-hmm.
horrible sets of ordeal, because it's not one, it's several. Um, what would you say to a person that's going through this right now? Carl, I am here. Just hold the line for me, okay?
Sure, sure.
All
I
right.
would s- I would say to the individual, speak, talk, Tell somebody. Don't go through what I went through by holding it. Then it was a time when I was unlearned, and I took what was said, that they would blame you, and they would say it was your fault, and you don't have a mother. But you know what? Tell somebody, because the government, like the police, is there, children's services are there. They will help. Don't keep it and lose your mind. Don't.
All right, let me take this first caller. Caller, good night. Go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, good night, Unstoppable. Thank you for having me. And my heart bleed with that lady because I can identify with her because I've been through not that amount of people have raped me, but it was my stepmother who did abuse me, and I was also raped as well. And I understand everything that she's been through, and the healing process, because I at one time put dark chain around my neck to hang myself because of the depression that I was going through, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I understand quite clearly what she's saying. And there's a lot of women out there that are being abused and going through trauma and don't have anyone to confide in, to speak with, because I lost both parents pretty early and lived with my stepmother, and that was very much abuse. Yeah. So I would like, if it is that, as she said, that she work with children and young people, because I do the same when I was in Jamaica. It would be nice, if we could have a platform for broken people, for those of us who have experienced and overcome. And yes, forgiveness is the key. And I would like to say to her that do not listen to what people say about her being given forgiveness, because that's the only way you're going to be able to be healed, when you let go and forgive the individual that have hurt you. Because I never
Yeah.
get my healing. I never get my healing until I was in my 30s, late 30s. And
Mhm.
I was alone by myself, and I lie on the floor and wept. And how I get my healing is a book, because I used to read a lot. I like to read, so I used to read a lot, and I have this Christian literature. It was from Oral Robert at the time, and it was speaking about the faith in forgiveness. And that book was the book that I read, and it was speaking about unforgiveness. And when you don't forgive, how much it eats up your inside. So I can do identify with all of what she's been through, and the healing process. And my prayer goes out with her, and I want to encourage her and tell her thanks for sharing her experience, because there are a lot of people out there, a lot of young girls, because I protect my daughter and my son so much because of what I've been through. And I tell myself that I would never allow that to go happen to my kids. Even if myself and their dad weren't together anymore, I protect them. I People always see me with my kids them and say, "Yeah, your handbag them." So yes, they are my handbag. I don't leave them nowhere. I did not trust them with nobody.
Um,
So I really want to thank you for the platform that you're giving to people so that they can share what's going on. And,
yes.
you know, it is sad that even in Jamaica, I want to go back home to be a voice for the voiceless as well too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, it is a sad situation with what's going on in my country that I love so much.
Mm-hmm.
It
Well,
pains my heart.
what I'm gonna do, Carla, I'm gonna give you a call so that we can schedule a program for you to be able to share your experience if that's something that you would like to do. So I'll give you a call and we'll discuss it. I want to thank you so much for calling in tonight and sharing your views. All right?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Great. Have a great night.
You too.
All right, the phone line is open again, viewers. 876-420-3368 is the number to call. WhatsApp only, not straight, only WhatsApp. If you want to say something about tonight's program, if you want to say something to the guest, she's also online. You can call in right now and say something to her pertaining to what she went through. All right, like I said, I know that there are many persons out there, even right now, listening in on this program right now. There are many persons out there that has been through this, been through a similar situation or the very same type of situation, and her sharing her experience tonight, it's helping someone that needs to hear that, hey, I'm not alone. Dr. Mia, good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody. I'm going to call back after you complete everything. But I want to say to the caller that forgiveness is always about your inner peace. It helps you to grow on the inside, and no matter what the situation has been and is, it is something that I recommend to everybody. When I first started, good night, everybody. Sorry, my manners. When I first started calling the Unstoppable Show, I usually recommend persons to, pray a lot and forgive whomever it is that offend them. And sometimes when I come off the phone, I wonder if I'm doing the right thing, because to each his own and the pain for everyone is different. But hearing your views and the way how you deal with it and how you have overcome, and now you can feel so comfortable to tell your story. I think forgiveness now is a better way in going out. It's not gonna be today, tomorrow, or next year for some people, but as you grow into yourself and finding out that whatever has happened to you wasn't your fault, it has nothing to do with you. It is just the way how people are bad and sometimes they are evil, and it's all the negative that comes with it. But with you putting the positive on it and forgive, it's very much a healing process for you and for everyone out there that has a story. So that's my take on that. It's so good that you have overcome and continue to protect, yourself and whomever, children, grandchildren, no matter how old they are. It's good to teach and tell the kids, grandkids, the way to go about doing things. And if you're not safe with certain people in your space, you don't allow people in your space. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much, Mia, for your input. I appreciate you calling. All right.
I
Thank
no
you.
problem. All right, bye.
Blessings. Carla, listen, I may be the only one here thinking this, but I have to commend you on the kind of heart you have again, because you forgave these people, and forgiving them is not the issue. Forgiving them is not the issue I'm having, right? I probably could have forgiven them myself, in which I'm sure you forgave them for yourself as well. But this is what I'm having a problem with. I could not have did. Someone did something like that to me and I turn around taking care of the person. The heart you have is bigger than usual. Could not have done it. I'm just being honest. I could not have done it. Here, Carla, good night. Your life.
Yes, good night, Unstoppable. Listening to the night and of course feeling her pain and all the abuse that she went through. And I was watching in the comments some people, basically said what you just said. I understand you forgiving him, but giving when helping to take care of him and all of that. I don't know about that, but it is the act of forgiveness. It is not just the act. Now is what's saying that I truly, truly, and honestly forgive you, and I don't even have not resentment against you anymore. It is gone. It is she truly, truly, truly forgive person for what was done. So I'm trying to explain to you what was really going on there. I had a very abusive father, verbally abuse his children, and I actually met him face to face. I flew to another state just so that I can meet him face to face, just to tell him, I forgive you for everything that you have ever said to me as a child. And I didn't want to write it. I didn't want to say and look you right in the eye and tell you that I forgive you. And he said, oh, but when I left, I came back. I would never forget. I flew on back to Florida. And I'm telling you, by me forgiving him, it felt like I flew the plane and not the plane flying. That's how relieved I was. And that's how I know forgiveness is a very big thing when it comes to, stuff like that. You have to forgive. Forgiveness. And I've been even putting in the comment section. It is not for the person that hurt you. The forgiveness is for you.
Right.
And on them, and you fly away free. You let them deal with whatever it is that they did to you, and you now are free to go on with your life, help others, and do better. So that's my tonight.
Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. All right.
All right, no problem.
Much
Bye-bye.
love. All right, so I seem to have lost the guest tonight. The line got cut, and there seems to be a little bit program anyhow. Hopefully, everyone is still hearing me clearly. Nonetheless, we're at the end of the program right now. Everyone that is tuning in, everyone that tuned in throughout the entire show, thank you so much for tuning. Say thank you to Merville Mackey for sending in a PayPal contribution. Thank you, Merville. Marcia also sent in a PayPal. Thank you so much, Marcia. The persons that sent in a contribution tonight that I mentioned earlier, thank you so much. You are totally appreciated. I'm not quite watching for anyone on the receiving end. I'm not seeing anyone complaining, but it seems like the stream is active. If you're able to hear me, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, so thank you to everyone that tuned in. And since it looks like everything froze, I'm just going to wrap it right here. I'll see you all next Wednesday for another awesome conversation or another awesome topic. All right. Like I said, I'm not sure if the show is freezing for you on your end, but to everyone. All right. Blessings.
The music, the music, the music, the music. Feel the music, way. Feel the music, way. Move your spine, way. Move your way. Feel the music, way. Move your waistline, way. Move your shoulders, way.
Music got me lifting way up high, sipping martinis and blue slushes with dollars up high.